I'm John Ray, your host for the Fuller Dudley Mastermind Network, and we have another important guest for you to meet today, and his name is Jimmy Davies. He is from Raleigh, North Carolina, actually out of Durham, North Carolina, I think. Jimmy, you have a very special concept, and I'm excited about it, and I want you to tell us about all black events.
Well, the name of the website is Every.Black event.
Every.Black event, not all black events, but Every.Black event.
Every.Black event.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a website that lists events of the black community, but not just things that are going on in the future, but also events of the past. In fact, that's kind of our slogan, the events of the past, present, and future. Now, also, Every.Black event is really the cornerstone of a family of websites that we're generating or creating. We also have Every.Black entrepreneur, Every.Black professional, Every.Black library, Every.Black ex-offender. But Every.Black event is sort of the centerpiece because all of those other websites, they all have events.
What's the rationale behind this? Why did you come up with something like this? And what does it mean to have Every.Black event? That's a whole lot of events going on in the community.
That's a lot of events. I've been in the computer field for nearly 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And for years I did provide computer training for people. And for the last 15 years I was a database developer, creating databases for companies. The last company I worked with was a spine clinic in Raleigh. But I always wanted to do something that I had a passion for. And so over the years I was trying to think how could I use my skills and my talents for something that I really cared about. So actually the first concept was to have a website called Every.Black Nonprofit,
Mm-hmm.
where I list nonprofits from around the country. So we've got about 500 African American nonprofits on the website. But then it dawned on me what people really want. They want to know what's going on, and Twitter made me think of that. So I changed the focus from the nonprofits to the events. And so once I changed the focus from the nonprofits to the events, we started getting a lot more traction. And so we made the Every.Black event website the centerpiece of the family of Every.Black websites.
So now you have taken that concept to the Fuller Dudley Mastermind Network. How has that impacted your business, and how has it impacted you personally?
Greatly. I went to witnessed a sermon once by a minister, and he said, if you want to fly with the eagles, you can't hang out with the turkeys. And that always stuck with me. So for the years, I've just kind of been out there on my own. But once I was introduced to to Mr. Dudley and the group, the mastermind group that he's doing, I wasn't alone anymore. And so I just felt like for the first time I had a real support system.
Mm-hmm.
And not just that, but also a networking system where we're trying to help each other. You know, through the group, several people have reached out to me to help me with my website, Every.Black event. And also I've been trying to reach out to some of the other members to help them as well.
So what does the Mastermind Network, in your view, what does it do? What does it do for you specifically?
I think one, it sort of felt like I was on the right track, but it sort of gives me some validation and some clarification as to how to really succeed in your business. You know, what does it really take, the mindset that it takes. I think also the one important thing, well, two important concepts that really come out of the group is one, the importance of networking, because each week we learn you really can't do it yourself. It depends on the others. And the other is that giving. You're not going to be successful, truly successful, if you're chasing the dollar. But if your real motivation is giving back, then the dollars will come. And so I think those are the two things that really struck me with the group that helped me focus also with my business. And it makes me excited to get up each morning and work on my business.
Now you have a concept of Every.Black event where you actually will take black events around the country, right, and market and promote them. How are you going to do that with as many black meetings that's around the country? How in the world are you going to keep up? Isn't that a lot of data to try to organize and keep traction with, keep control of?
Oh, absolutely. But a couple of things. One, being a database developer, so that's one thing that I do.
What is a database developer?
A database developer develops systems to keep track of something.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you get your car worked on, someone's got a computer system that tells you what you've done. Maybe you were there 6 months ago. They can pull up your records as what you did, what work you had done, or what work you're getting done this time. You go to Walmart, and someone's keeping track of all the things in Walmart and how much they sell for and how many are left. Those are database systems.
So you collect data, or you build
Well,
databases or collect?
Someone had to build those systems for the
Okay.
people to keep track of something,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's getting, cars worked on or at Walmart, or like I said, my last job was with medical clinics, so we were keeping track of patients and their surgeries, and
Mhm.
medications, and prescriptions, that type of thing, all the information relating to a patient. So the concept of creating a database is basically the same no matter what the subject matter, but the details, the customization can be greatly different depending on what it is you're creating a database for.
So when you have every black event, what does that do? How are you going to keep up with the thousands of events that are going on around this country?
Well, we really think about Every Black event as a database of events. And again, it's not just Every Black event, but for example, one website that we're creating is called Every Black Library. And so Every Black Library is a website where you can go and actually learn. We'll be having people come in to teach different things such as social media or how to use Facebook better for your business, also business etiquette, all types of things that people can go and learn. Now, with the websites also, we're not personally listing everything ourselves. We made it available so people can come and list their events.
Oh.
Now, if your event is free, we don't charge you to list your event. But if you're charging for your event, then we will also charge
So you
something.
mean then that if you have an event going on and you want to get it on the
Listen,
internet,
right.
that then you would put that event. If I had an event in, say, in Durham or in Winston-Salem,
Right.
I'm having an event coming up and it's a holiday event. You're saying that I can send it to you and you would post my event?
Well, you can actually go online yourself directly, create an account, and post your event. It's pretty easy to step through. The process is pretty easy.
So
If-
I know that's not you said every black, it didn't say every free black event, did it?
No, I didn't say that. But if your event is free, for
Okay.
a church or nonprofit, you're not charging anything to the public to attend your event, then we're not going to charge you to put your event on our site. But if you charge for your event, then we charge you at the time that you
Well,
put
give
your
me an
event.
example of that, an event. Let's say that something's coming up on the 4th of July.
Okay, if you're providing a concert or something, then and you're charging a fee for people to get in, then we just charge you something to actually post your event on our site. But if you're, say for example, a church and you're having some type of function that open to the public at no charge, it's free, then we don't charge you.
How are you going to keep? There must be thousands and thousands of events going on around this country. How would you be able to manage all of that? Make sense of it?
Well, we haven't gotten to that point yet, but that's a nice problem to have. But I think
So what's the process? What does a person have to do in order to get listed on your site?
they would just go to the website.
And that would be Every Black Event.
Everyblackevent.com.
Okay.
Right. And then there's a button that says you can add your event. And so they would just click on the button. And once they click on the button to add their event, it's going to ask them some questions like, what is the name of the event? Where is it going to be? The date is going to be, the time, the location, and then, of course, the cost. Now, again, if the cost is free, then you can continue on, and your event will then be posted on our website.
Okay, so what kind of events? Is there a stipulation? I mean, is there a restriction on certain?
well-
I mean, you just can't list everything that's out there, can you?
No, basically we say as long as it's family friendly, then we're willing to list your event.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the events we have are events that nonprofits have, or organizations such as conferences. We get a lot of those. We get a lot of church events. We get a little bit of everything. But events at different museums that's come to mind that are on there. But as long as it's like I said, we family friendly. Nothing.
What inspired you to come up with something like this?
Like I said, I think I just wanted to use my skills, things that I've done in the past, managing data, but I've always managed data for other companies. And so I guess the volume doesn't scare me because I've managed data for companies where there's literally millions of records, but I just haven't done it for my own site.
Is there anything else in the country like this? Or is this something that's hard to?
Not that I'm aware of, because again, it's not just one site; it's also the other sites that go along with it, where we're listing a database of professionals, a database of entrepreneurs. And then one website, I call them databases, one website that I'm really excited about is Every.Black ex-offender. And what we want is a website where people can go once they're released from prison, so they can actually find resource centers in their area to maybe help them with housing or obtaining jobs, or maybe in some cases they just need need to eat. So we want to be able to, or clothing. So we want to be able to have a place where people can go and get information about.
But Jimmy, that's a lot. How do you manage all of this? So I mean, that looks like it's every black event, all the events. How do you manage? How do you keep track of all this stuff?
Well, I don't know how to answer that question. It was just like in the database, we scan everything that comes in, but I mean, we haven't gotten to the point where it's too large to manage. If it gets to that point, I'll be happy.
So if I had an event, and let's say I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I got an event in Baton Rouge, and I want to get it on a nationwide. You're saying that you would take my event that I'm having in the 4th of July in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you would get it up around the country for me.
We put it on our website, and then we advertise so that people will know about our website. And when they come and see what's going on, they'll see your event as well. And the other thing that we do too is we offer a subscription. For example, some vendors, they want to know about the events going on in Baton Rouge. They want to know about the events going on in Mississippi or whatever. So by getting a subscription, we will automatically send you a subscription each week of all the events that are going on in your area or that we have listed in the database. But yeah, we simply list the events, and we advertise for people to come and find out what's going on. Or maybe if you're going to be in a particular city, you're going to be in Chicago, and you want to find out what's going on in Chicago the weekend you're there, you'll be able to go to our website and just see the events that are going on in that city at that time.
How long did it take you to develop this? It seems like a very ambitious project.
The concept has been probably a decade, but over the last year is when I really decided to work on this full time and to make it happen. And that's when like I said, until last year I worked as a database developer for another company, but I decided that it was something I wanted to do while I can. You know, health is good, daughter's grown and gone. So.
Well, yeah, I know, Jim. Like, how do you finance something like this? Doesn't it take a lot of upfront financing to get something like this launched?
Yeah, I've been financing it myself, but I think a big benefit was that because I am a database developer, I've been in the computer field for so long, a lot of the development or the programming of it I did myself, so that I knew what I wanted, and that cut down on the cost as well.
So if someone wanted to get in touch with you and they wanted to get the event listed on that Every.Black event, what's the process? What's the next step you do?
Go to everyblackevent.com. My email address is right on there at jimmy@everyblackevent.com. But again, once you get there, you can click on the Add Your Event button. It'll create an account for you, and then you can begin to add your events. And it's just that simple.
Sounds simple, but I know it ain't that simple as it sounds, Jimmy.
Well, we try to make it user friendly. So,
Jimmy Davies, everyblackevent.com. Go on it right now, and you'll be able to get your event listed on everyblackevent.com. Thank you, Jimmy.
thank you.
We'll be right back.